The crack of my knee hitting the pavement echoed like a gunshot in the pre-dawn silence. Pain exploding up my leg as I crumpled mid-stride on the fog-shrouded trail. Alex didn't even break pace. He just glanced back once, his blue eyes flat as winter ice, and kept running, leaving me there in the dirt like yesterday's trash. "Get up, Ethan," he called over his shoulder, voice clipped and distant. The kind of tone that said this was just another drill, not the moment my world cracked open and bled out my stupid, hopeless crush. That morning on the edge of campus in Ann Arbor, Michigan, where the Huron River snakes through like a vein of forgotten secrets, felt like the culmination of every unspoken ache I'd buried since freshman move-in day. Alex Hargrove and I had been randomly assigned as roommates in the creaky old West Quad dorms, the kind with radiators that clanged like ghosts at night and windows that fogged up from our collective breaths during those brutal Michigan winters. He was the golden boy from some podunk town in Ohio, broad shoulders from high school football, a jawline that could cut glass, and that effortless Midwestern charm he doled out like rations to everyone but me. Or so it seemed. Me? Ethan Caldwell, the scrawny kid from Seattle who'd fled rainy skies and a family that still whispered about phases behind my back. I come to Michigan for the track program, dreaming of nationals, but mostly to outrun the label I'd slapped on myself at 17. Gay, unapologetic, and utterly invisible to guys like Alex. We clicked on logistics right away, shared a love for early morning runs, the burn of lactic acid in our quads, the way the world felt conquerable when your heartbeat drowned out the noise. By sophomore year, we'd upgraded our solo jogs to partnered training sessions, mapping out half-marathon routes that twisted through Nichols Arboretum's oak groves and spilled onto the empty streets of Carytown before the farmer's market buzzed alive. But it was always one-sided, or at least that's how it gnawed at me. I'd catch myself stealing glances at the way his tank top clung to his sweat-slicked chest after a hill sprint, or how his laugh, rare as a shooting star, crinkled the corners of his eyes when we'd collapse on the grass, chugging Gatorade and trash-talking the Wolverines' latest loss. I'd spin it in my head as strategy. The endorphins, the camaraderie, nothing more. Except it was everything. Late at night, when the dorm quieted and his snores rumbled from the top bunk like distant thunder, I'd lie awake tracing the constellations on my ceiling, wondering if he'd ever see me as more than the guy who kept the mini fridge stocked with protein shakes. That fall, as leaves turned the color of rust and regret, things shifted. We'd signed up for the Detroit Free Press Half Marathon, a grueling 13.1 miles through the Motor City's heartbeat, past the Renaissance Center's gleaming spires and over the Ambassador Bridge into Canada and back. Coach Ramirez had us drilling like machines. Interval sprints on the indoor track, tempo runs along the riverfront, core sessions in the cramped gym where the air smelled of rubber mats and desperation. Alex thrived on it, his strides eating up ground like he was born to outpace his demons. Me? I pushed harder, lungs screaming, just to stay in his shadow. Started small, the cracks. One evening after a brutal fartlek session. Fast bursts interspersed with jogs that left my calves knotted like ropes. He suggested we grab post-run fuel at Zingerman's Deli. Nothing new. We demolished their corned beef Reubens a dozen times. But as we sat at the corner booth, grease dripping onto wax paper, he leaned in with that half-smile that made my stomach flip. "You're getting faster, man. That last split? Sub 6 minutes. Nationals aren't a pipe dream for you anymore." I mumbled a thanks, heat creeping up my neck, and that's when she walked in. Lena Vasquez, junior from the soccer team, all dark curls and easy confidence, the kind of girl who turned heads without trying. She spotted Alex, waved, and slid into the seat across from us like she belonged. "Hargrove, heard you crushed that relay last week. Coach is scouting you for spring." Her laugh was sunlight, and Alex lit up in a way I'd only seen in highlight reels. Leaning forward, trading stories about botched plays and shared professors who graded like sadists. I faded into the vinyl, picking at my sandwich, the rye turning to ash in my mouth. She stayed for an hour, oblivious to the way my world tilted. When she left with a flirty, "Text me about that party Saturday," Alex turned back to me like nothing had happened. "Cool girl, right? Plays forward, killer footwork." "Yeah," I forced out, forcing a grin. "Killer." That night, As rain lashed the windows and thunder rolled in from Lake Michigan, I couldn't sleep. Alex was out cold, oblivious, while I scrolled through his Instagram. Stupid, masochistic habit, lingering on a story from last summer. Him shirtless on an Ohio lake dock, beer in hand, surrounded by buddies who looked at him like he hung the moon. No girls then, just brothers. But now, Lena's comment hearts piled up like accusations. The next run was torture. We hit the trails at 5 a.m., headlamps cutting yellow beams through the mist, the air thick with the scent of wet earth and pine. I lagged, my mind a loop of what-ifs. What if he knew? What if he didn't care? A root snagged my toe midway up the dam overlook, and down I went, knee first into the mud, skin splitting like overripe fruit. The pain was white-hot, but the humiliation burned deeper. Alex slowed, silhouetted against the graying sky, and for a split second, I thought he'd reach back. Instead, "Shake it off, Ethan. We've got miles." I hauled myself up, blood trickling warm down my shin, and followed. One-sided. Always. Weeks blurred into a rhythm of denial. Training intensified. Coach threw in hill repeats that left us vomiting into the bushes, yoga flows to loosen the knots, nutrition logs that read like manifestos. Alex and Lena became a thing, casual at first. Study dates in the undergrad library that stretched till closing, her cheering at his pickup games in the IM building. I'd see them from afar, her hand on his arm during a coffee run at Knight's Steakhouse, him throwing his head back in laughter at something she whispered. Each sighting was a fresh bruise, purple and tender. I threw myself into the grind, clocking extra miles solo on the treadmill, blasting indie playlists, Phoebe Bridgers crooning about ghosts, to drown the ache. My times improved. Coach noticed, pulling me aside after a session to say, "Caldwell, you're a dark horse. Keep this up, and you're varsity bound." Pride flickered, but it was hollow. What good was speed if it couldn't carry me closer to him? Thanksgiving break loomed like a reprieve. Campus emptied. The quad a ghost town of bare branches and discarded flyers. Alex headed home to Ohio for turkey and family drama. His dad's a retired steelworker, the kind who still clips coupons and mutters about kids these days. I flew back to Seattle, endured the obligatory hugs from Mom and Dad, who eyed my track jacket like it hid secrets. "Seeing anyone special?" Mom asked over pie, her voice light but probing. I deflected with a laugh. Just the finish line. Back in Ann Arbor by Sunday night, the dorm felt cavernous without him. I sprawled on the futon, binging old episodes of Queer as Folk. The gritty Pittsburgh version, all raw edges and unspoken longings, wishing for a fraction of that fire. Monday dawned bitter cold, the kind that seeps into your bones. Alex texted at 4:45 a.m. "Trail run? Need to shake off the drive." We met at the ARB entrance, breath fogging in twin clouds. He looked wrecked, bags under his eyes, flannel shirt untucked like he'd slept in it. "Family stuff," he grunted when I asked. "Dad's on my case about scouts again. Like football's the only path to manhood." We ran in silence mostly, the crunch of frost underfoot the only conversation. At the 3-mile mark, overlooking the river's frozen fringe, he stopped abruptly. "Ethan, you ever feel like you're running from something you can't name?" My heart stuttered. I nodded, words caught in my throat. "All the time." He clapped my shoulder, firm, brotherly, and we pushed on. That touch lingered, a ghost on my skin, fueling fantasies I had no right to. But reality crashed back midweek. A group hang at the Brown Jug, Ann Arbor's divey heartbeat, where undergrads chugged pitchers and belted Sweet Caroline. Lena was there, draped over Alex like a victory flag, her lips brushing his ear. I nursed a Bud Light in the corner, chatting with track mates about qualifying times, but my eyes betrayed me, flicking to them every few seconds. Then it happened, the betrayal that gutted me clean. Jake, our loudmouth relay teammate, sloshed over with a grin, arm around my shoulders. "Caldwell, you and Hargrove, y'all are like an old married couple with those dawn patrols. When you coming out as the power bottom?" The bar erupted in hoots, the kind of bro joke that skates too close to truth. Alex's laugh joined in, sharp and forced, but his eyes met mine across the room. Apology? Pity? I bolted to the bathroom, splashing water on my face, staring at the mirror's cracked reflection. Power bottom. If only he knew how badly I wanted to be his anything. Back at the dorm, I confronted the elephant, or rather, pretended it wasn't there. Alex stumbled in late, reeking of hops and her perfume. Fun night? I asked, voice steady as I prepped for bed. Yeah, man. Lena's wild. Did you see her shotgunning that beer? He stripped to boxers, oblivious, climbing the ladder. You dipped early. Everything cool? Fine? I lied, punching my pillow. Just tired. Lies piled like snowdrifts. By December, with the marathon a month out, the drills turned savage. Coach introduced surprise sets. Unannounced gut checks where we'd get yanked from lectures for pop-up circuits. Burpees till collapse. Plank holds that shook your core like an earthquake. One Tuesday, it hit during biolab. A text blast summoning us to the track for active recovery. Recovery, my ass. It was 20 intervals at race pace. Wind whipping off the Huron like knives. Alex crushed it, of course, his form poetry in motion. I faltered on the 8th, vision blurring, legs lead. He lapped me without a word, that cold efficiency I'd come to resent. After, in the locker room, steam curling like cigarette smoke, I stripped for the shower, towel barely nodded. Our eyes locked in the mirror. He froze, something flickering in his gaze before he turned away. Good push today, he muttered, vanishing into the spray. I stood there, water needling my skin, wondering if I'd imagined it. The want, the possibility, but doubt was a heavier weight than any rep, and as Christmas lights twinkled across campus, promising warmth, I felt only the chill of what might never be. January roared in like a hangover, gray skies dumping snow on an arbor, turning the trails into slushy gauntlets that sucked at your shoes like quicksand. The dorms buzzed with post-break energy. Resolutions scribbled on whiteboards, gym memberships spiking, everyone chasing reinvention. For me, it was simpler. Survive training, survive seeing Alex with Lena, survive the slow erosion of my sanity. We'd ramped up to peak mileage. 40 miles a week, easy runs bleeding into tempos that left calluses on my soul. Alex mapped our routes with military precision, pinning them to the corkboard above his desk. Operation Detroit Domination. Lena tagged along more now, her presence a third wheel that wobbled the whole cart. She'd join our cool-down walks, chattering about her poli-sci thesis on urban renewal in Motor City, her hand swinging perilously close to Alex's. He soaked it up, that easy affection, while I trailed behind, cataloging the ways he softened for her. Tucking a curl behind her ear, lingering on inside jokes. Stung, a low-grade fever I couldn't shake. One afternoon, post-long run along Getty's Road, she waited at the trailhead with hot cocoa from nights, steam rising like peace offerings. For my favorite distance duo, she chirped, handing Alex the bigger mug. Thanks, babe, he said, kissing her cheek. Babe. The word landed like a sucker punch, and I busied myself with stretches, pretending the burn in my hamstrings was the only fire. That night, alone in the room while he studied with her in the hall lounge, I cracked, paced the threadbare carpet, phone in hand, thumb hovering over my best friend's contact back in Seattle. Marco, it's bad. Can't stop thinking about him. Roomie's straight as an arrow, and I'm the idiot chasing shadows. His reply pinged back. Dude, talk to him. Or run faster. Either way, don't let it eat you. Wise words from a barista with a nose ring and a psych degree. But they echoed hollow. The surprise drills kept coming, each one a test of will. Coach Ramirez, with his salt and pepper mustache and tales of '92 Olympics, loved keeping us off balance, mimicking race day chaos, he called it. One Wednesday, it was mid-seminar. A fire alarm wail, herding us to the intramural fields for shuttle runs in the sleet. Lungs on fire, shoes slipping on turf turned to ice. I pushed through the first 10 okay. Then fatigue hit like a freight train, quads seizing, breath ragged. Alex powered ahead, a machine, but on the 12th shuttle, I ate it. Face plant into the frozen grass, the metallic tang of blood on my lip. He was there in seconds this time, hauling me up by the elbow. Breathe, Ethan. In through nose, out through mouth. His grip was iron, steadying, and for a heartbeat, our faces were inches apart. His breath warm against the cold, eyes searching mine with something raw, unguarded. You good? Yeah, I gasped, pulling away too quick. Just slipped. Coach blew the whistle, ending the set, and the moment shattered. But it lingered, a splinter under my skin. Was it concern? Or just teammate protocol? As weeks ground on, the betrayal deepened, not from Alex, not yet, but from myself. I started pulling back, skipping optional sessions, faking headaches to dodge their double dates that weren't. Marco's voice looped in my head. Talk to him. But how? Hey, roomie. Love the way your abs flex during planks. Want to make out? No. Instead, I channeled it into fuel, shaving seconds off my mile, earning nods from Coach. Caldwell's got grit, he'd say in team huddles, and Alex would echo it later over microwave burritos. Told you, man, you're built for this. Built for what? I wanted to scream. For watching you build a life with her. For pretending my heart isn't a grenade with the pin half pulled. Mid-February brought the first thaw, tentative sun melting snow into rivulets that flooded the storm drains. We hit a breakthrough run. 20 steady miles from campus to Dexter and back, the road unspooling like a confession. Birds chattered in the budding maples, and for once, Alex opened up. Dad called last night, he said, voice low as we crested a hill. Wants me to transfer to Ohio State after this year. Real football program, he says, like Michigan's chopped liver. I glanced at him, sweat beading on his temple despite the chill. What did you tell him? That I'm staying. Track's my thing now, this marathon? It's mine. He paused, feet pounding in sync. Ours. The word hung, heavy with subtext I dared not unpack. We finished strong, collapsing on the dorm steps, chests heaving. Lena was waiting again, this time with tickets to a Pistons game. Double date? She asked, eyes on me. Alex hesitated, barely a beat, but nodded. Sure. Ethan's in. I forced a smile. Wouldn't miss it. The game was a blur of roaring crowds at Little Caesars Arena, the scent of hot dogs and popcorn mingling with engine grease from the nearby factories. We sat courtside cheap seats, Lena cheering every dunk, her leg pressed against Alex's. I clapped mechanically, mind elsewhere. On the way his knee brushed mine in the aisle, accidental but electric. Halftime. She dragged him to the concessions, leaving me with a foam finger and regret. When they returned, arms linked, something in me snapped. Not loud, not dramatic, just a quiet fracture. Post-game, back in the dorm, the air thick with unspoken static. Alex flopped on the futon, scrolling his phone. Fun night, huh? Lena's got energy for days. Yeah, I said, stripping for bed. She's great for you. He looked up, brow furrowing. What's that mean? Nothing. Just, you two fit. Like puzzle pieces or whatever. I climbed into my bunk, heart hammering. Silence stretched. Then, Ethan, you've been weird lately. Distant. Spill. I stared at the slats above me, his face a shadow below. It's nothing. Training funk. Bullshit. His voice softened, probing. Is it the marathon? Pressure. More like the pressure of loving you from the sidelines. Yeah, that. He sighed, the sound of defeat. We're a team, man. You and me against the miles. Don't shut me out. Team. The word twisted like a knife. I rolled over, feigning sleep, while tears pricked hot and unwelcome. Outside, the city hummed, distant horns, laughter from State Street bars. Life moving on without me. The next drill was the breaking point. Coach's Valentine's surprise. A midnight polar bear plunge into the Huron, followed by sprints on the frozen beach. Sub-zero temps, wind off the lake like shards of glass. We stripped to shorts and tees, huddling by space heaters, nerves electric. Builds mental toughness, Coach barked. Race day won't coddle you. The plunge was agony. water closing over my head like a grave, shock-stealing breath. I surfaced gasping, limbs numb, and hauled ass to shore. The sprints came next. 10 400s on sand turned concrete hard by frost, each one a battle against shutdown. Alex flew, form flawless. I hit wall 5. Vision tunneling, legs buckling mid-stride. I went down hard, cheek kissing ice, the world spinning into white. Shouts, then hands, his hands, dragging me up, arms slung over his shoulder. Stay with me, Ethan. One more. He half-carried me across the line, his body heat a lifeline in the cold. Coach called time, medics swarmed, but Alex didn't let go till they pried him off. In the heated tent, wrapped in mylar blankets, he knelt beside the cot, face pale. You scared the shit out of me. Sorry? I whispered, shivering not just from chill. Don't be. Just promise you'll tell me when it's too much. His fingers brushed mine, tentative, then pulled back. Lena hovered at the flap, concern etched, but he waved her off. Go warm up with the team. I'll catch up. Alone, the dam cracked. It's not the training, Alex. It's you. He froze, eyes widening. What? But the medic bustled in, and the moment drowned in chaos. Stitches for my cheek, hot chocolate laced with whiskey. We never circled back. But something shifted. His texts that week. Check in? Miss our runs. Lena's invites tapered. She sensed the frost. By late February, with taper weeks looming, the air crackled with possibility. We ran light miles through melting snow, conversations dipping into deeper waters. His fear of disappointing his dad, my quiet coming out over email to a family that replied with emojis instead of words. They'll come around, he said one dusk. As we jogged the stadium loop, stadium lights blooming like fireflies. You're worth it. Worth it. If only he meant it the way I ached for. The betrayal I'd braced for came not from him, but fate. A leaked team email, coach's roster for spring relays, named Alex as anchor, me as alternate. Injury risk, the note read. My fault, the fall in the sleet. I confronted coach in his office, door ajar to the track's echo. It's politics, he shrugged. Hargrove's the draw. Scouts love him. Crushed, I stormed out, straight into Alex in the hall. Did you know? His face crumpled. Ethan, You pushed for it, didn't you? To protect your spot. Lies born of hurt, but they flew true. No, I fought for you. Save it. I shoved past, the slam of the door echoing my fracturing heart. One-sided, after all. The miles between us stretched infinite. March arrived with a vengeance. Thaws teasing into false springs, only to slap us back with nor'easters that buried the quad in drifts. Campus thrummed with midterms madness. All-nighters in the fishbowl, caffeine veins pulsing through the undergrad library like a collective 4-drip. For me, it was a mercy, the grind of organic chem equations blurring the sharper pain of Alex's silence. We'd reduced runs to logistics. Meet at dawn, pound pavement wordlessly, part ways at the dorm with nods instead of fist bumps. Lena hovered less, her texts to him unanswered in my periphery, but I didn't care. Betrayal had cauterized something in me, turning longing to lead. The alternate slot festered. I'd earned varsity, times don't lie, but coach's risk assessment pinned me to the bench, a scarlet letter stitched with my own clumsiness. Track practice became theater. Me in the bleachers, stopwatch in hand, cheering hollow as Alex blazed lanes, his spikes chewing rubber like vindication. Teammates clapped my back. Next one's yours, Caldwell. But their pity tasted like bile. Marco called from Seattle, voice crackling over spotty Wi-Fi. Screw him. Run your own race. Easy for him to say, slinging lattes while I choked on what-ifs. Alex tried bridging the gap once, slipping a gel packet into my locker with a post-it, fuel for the fire. I crumpled it, tossed it in the trash, but fished it out later, smoothing the creases like a love letter gone sour. Why did he care? Guilt? Obligation? The roommate code that demanded civility but not truth? The marathon loomed, a specter on the calendar. March 24th, Detroit streets thrumming with 20,000 souls chasing redemption. We tapered easy shakes-outs, carbloads of pasta at Cottage Inn, where garlic bread came in baskets big as dreams. Our last joint run was a ceremonial 5-miler along the river, cherry blossoms daring to bud despite the forecast chill. Silence stretched, broken only by gulls wheeling overhead and the slap of Nikes on path. At the 2-mile turn, he cracked. "Ethan, this cold shoulder? It's killing me." I kept pace, eyes on the horizon where factories loomed like stern uncles. "Funny, thought you'd prefer the distance. Makes room for Lena." "Jesus, that's not." He faltered, breath visible in the crisp air. "Lena and I, we're done. Weeks ago." The words landed soft, but they detonated. I slowed, turning. "What?" She knew something was off, said I was checked out. And I was with her, yeah. "But it's you, man. It's always been you pulling my focus." His face was raw, wind-chapped cheeks flushed deeper than exertion. My pulse thundered, louder than feet on asphalt. Don't say that like it's a joke." "It's not." He stepped closer, close enough I could smell his soap. Irish Spring, clean and boyish. "That email?" I tore into Coach. Begged him to slot you anchor. He wouldn't budge, said it was set. But I fought, "Ethan. For you." The world tilted, pieces realigning. "Why?" "Because you're not alternate material. You're the guy who drags me through walls I didn't know I had." His hand hovered, then dropped. "And because, shit, I don't know how to say this without sounding like a Hallmark card." "Then don't." But I wanted him to crave the words like oxygen after a sprint. We finished the run in charged quiet, the dorm a beacon of unfinished business. That night, as sleet ticked against the pane, he knocked on my doorframe, rare, since we'd stopped bunking casual. "Movie? Neutral ground." I nodded, and we cued Rocky on his laptop, sprawled on the futon with a bowl of popcorn neither touched. The training montages hit different, Adrian's quiet strength mirroring my turmoil. Halfway through, as Balboa took his lumps, Alex paused it. "Remember that polar plunge? When you went down?" "Yeah. You carried me." "Not carried. Held on." His knee nudged mine, deliberate. "Couldn't let go. Haven't since." The room shrank, air thick. I met his gaze, blue depths I drowned in silently for years. "Alex." He leaned in, tentative, lips brushing mine like a question. Soft, testing, salt from the popcorn, warmth from his core. I answered, hand cupping his jaw, the kiss deepening into something starved and sweet. Years of restraint unraveled in that press. Tongues tentative, then bold. His fingers threading my hair. A gasp when I nipped his lower lip. Not fire, but hearth. Steady burn against the storm outside. We broke apart breathless, foreheads touching. "I've wanted that," he whispered, "since the first run. But I thought, you straight, or not into me?" "Me? You're the one with the girlfriend parade." Laughter bubbled, disbelieving. "Fake it till you make it, right? Dad's idea of normal. Hiding's easier then." He trailed off, vulnerability cracking his armor. I traced his knuckles, calloused from weights. "No more hiding. Not from me." That night we talked till dawn, confessions spilling like contraband. His first crush on a camp counselor at 15, buried under football pads. My Seattle fumblings, awkward and anonymous. Dawn painted the room gold, and as he pulled me close, arm heavy across my chest, sleep came easy. For the first time, the bunk felt like home. But drama doesn't fade with first kisses. It simmers. The next day, practice was a minefield. Coach announced the relay lineup, Alex anchor, me benched, and the team erupted in cheers. I stood frozen, the alternate tag a noose. Alex caught my eye, mouthing later, but Lena, lingering on the sidelines, eyes red-rimmed, saw the shift. Post-session, she cornered me by the water fountain, voice a whip. "What the hell, Ethan? You poach him like that?" "Poach?" I recoiled. "It wasn't. Save it. I knew he was distant, but you? His roommate." Hurt twisted her features, pretty and sharp. You're playing with fire. He'll bolt back to safe when it gets real. She stormed off, leaving venom in the air. Doubt crept in, insidious. Was this real? Or a training high, endorphins masking the crash? The betrayal hit Friday. Dad's email, forwarded from Seattle. Saw your times online, impressive. But that alternate nonsense? Man up, son. Winners don't sit. Attached. A photo from homecoming, him arm in arm with mom. The family portrait I'd shattered by being me. I slammed the laptop, chest tight. Alex found me on the fire escape, staring at the quad skeletal trees. Talk. I handed him the printout. He read, jaw tightening. He's wrong. You're not sitting, you're building. Easy for you. Your dad's all transfer to OSU. But at least he sees you. Alex pulled me against him, chin on my shoulder. He sees what he wants. Like I did, till you. His hand slipped into mine, interlacing fingers. A promise in the grip. We're in this, Ethan. Miles and all. The weekend blurred into stolen moments. Coffee at Lab Cafe, knees touching under cafe tables. Walks through the power center's alley, where street lamps haloed his profile. But tension coiled. Lena's glare at the union, whispers rippling through track circles. Hargrove and Caldwell? Nah, bro jokes. If only they knew the half of it. Midweek, the surprise drill dropped like an anvil. Coaches trust falls. Partnered relays blindfolded. One guiding the other through obstacle courses on the field. Paired with Alex, of course. Heart pounding, I tied the cloth over his eyes, his trust await. Lead on, he said, hands out. I guided, voice steady through hurdles, cones, the mat of tangled ropes. Left 3 steps, jump. He cleared, breath syncing with mine. Then switch, me blind, him directing. His voice anchored, calm amid chaos. Right, Ethan, trust it. I've got you. On the final leap, a foam pit feint, he caught my waist as I stumbled, pulling me flush. Blindfold off, our eyes locked, the team oblivious in their cheers. But coach saw his mustache twitching. Post-drill in his office. Caldwell a word. I braced. Sir, that chemistry with Hargrove? Is gold. But keep it pro. Scouts sniff drama like blood. Warning or wink. Hard to tell. Outside, Alex waited, concern etched. What did he say? Nothing bad. I grinned, bumping his shoulder. Said we're unstoppable. The high carried us into Taper's End light jogs, visualization sessions where we'd lie head to toe on the futon, breathing synced, imagining Detroit's bridge as our conquest. But undercurrents stirred. Dad's second email, curt. Call home. We need to talk. I deleted it, but ghosts don't vanish. Race Eve, packet pickup in Detroit's Hart Plaza. River winds whipping flags, expo tents buzzing with gels and gators. Alex and I wandered, hands brushing in crowds, a secret thrill. Lena appeared, solo booth hopping. Her eyes narrowed on our proximity. Good luck tomorrow, she said, voice iced honey. To Alex, don't get lost. He stiffened. Lena, forget it. She vanished into the throng, leaving Frost. Back in the hotel, team crash pad at the Marriott, roommates swapped for team bonding. I bunked with Jake, Alex with a sprinter. Sleepless, I texted. Miss your snores. His reply, miss your heat. Tomorrow we fly. Dawn broke clear, unseasonably warm. 50s under a blue sky that mocked my nerves. Buses ferried us to the start. Corrals a cattle call of neon singlets and goosebumps. Alex and I lined up mid-pack, waves of runners ebbing like tide. Gunshot cracked and we surged, bodies compressing, then spilling onto Jefferson Avenue. Miles 1 through 5. Euphoric. Detroit unfolded, gritty murals on brick facades. Motown echoes in the air. We wove packs, strides meshing, his shoulder a talisman. This is it, he panted at the 5K aid station, splashing water. You and me. 6 through 10, the grind. Bridge climb loomed. Ambassadors span a steel serpent to Canada. Legs protested, but his pace pulled me. At the international line, Windswept, flags snapping. We high-fived, goofy under the toll booths. Halfway heroes, he yelled over the roar. The turn back was cruel, headwinds shoving like bullies, miles 11 ticking eternal. Cramping hit at 12, a vice on my calf. I faltered, vision spotting. Keep going? I gasped, waving him on. Not without you. He looped back, arm linking mine. Together. Spectators blurred. Signs bobbing. Run like your roommate's watching. Irony bit deep. We limped the final push. His encouragement a lifeline. 1 block. Dig. The finish shoot. Confetti storm. Metal cool on my neck. Time. 1:42. PR for both. Collapsing on the barriers. Salt-streaked hugs from team. But his embrace lingered longest, fierce, claiming. Then the climax cracked open. Coach, beaming, clapped our backs. You two relay anchors next season. Both. Vindication sweet as the chocolate milk chugged after. But in the cool-down tent, Dad's call pierced. Voicemail from Seattle. Ethan saw the results. Proud. But about that other thing. We should talk. For real. Heart swelled, progress fragile. Alex pulled me aside, under the Renaissance Center's shadow. Whatever comes, we've got this. I kissed him there, public and unashamed, quick, but seismic. A few stares, but Detroit didn't blink. Home felt closer, miles conquered. The post-race glow faded into the cruel clarity of Monday mornings. Back in Ann Arbor, blisters bandaged, muscles a symphony of ache. Campus bloomed tentative. Daffodils poking through mulch in the diagram. Students shedding coats like winter skins. Track season revved official. Relays at Big House. The sting of fresh rubber under spikes. Alex and I were golden now. Anchor duo, whispers of Big Ten contention trailing us like exhaust. But under the triumph, Fisher's spiderwebbed. Dad's voicemail looped in my head. A half-promise laced with caution. For real. What did that mean? Acceptance? Or the polite erasure I'd fled west to escape? Alex sensed the storm, his intuition sharpened by our new intimacy. Mornings after team lifts, he'd brew coffee in the Keurig. Black for him, splash of oat milk for me, and we'd debrief on the futon, legs tangled casual. Call him, he'd urge, thumb tracing my knee. Rip the Band-Aid. Easier said. I'd deflect, burying in notes for psych midterms. But his steadiness wore me down. Nights where he'd hold me through doubts, his heartbeat a metronome against my ribs. You're enough, he'd murmur into my hair, words a balm on old wounds. Intimacy bloomed slow, tender. Lazy kisses over textbooks, hands exploring under flannel in the dim of desk lamps. No rush, no frenzy. Just us, mapping each other like favorite routes. Lena's shadow lingered, though. She avoided the track, but encounters ambushed. A poli-sci lecture hall where she'd sit rows back, pen tapping accusatory. The pretzel bell on a Friday crawl, her laugh cutting through the din as she toasted with soccer girls. Once, post-practice, she waylaid Alex by the equipment shed. I hung back, lacing sneakers, ears straining. Missed this. Her voice, honey over gravel. Lena, we're good as friends. But friends who swap spit with their roommates? Low, venomous. You're bi-curious or whatever, fine. But don't ghost me for a phase. It's not. He sighed, frustration cracking. It's real. Has been. She laughed, brittle. Till Daddy Dearest finds out. Or Coach. Good luck anchoring that scandal. She peeled away, leaving him deflated. He found me on the bleachers, head in hands. Drama queen. Worse. Truth serum. He slumped beside me, shoulder to mine. She's right, my folks. They don't know. About me. Us. The admission hung, heavy as humidity before a squall. And, scared shitless. Vulnerability stripped him bare. The golden boy cracked. Dad's got this vision, grandkids, Sunday roasts. Coming out, it's detonating that. I laced our fingers, public in the empty stands. Then we build a new vision. Together. He nodded, but doubt clouded his eyes. That night, over takeout from Jerusalem Garden, hummus creamy as forgiveness we planned. Spring break. he said, falafel crumbling on his plate. Head to Ohio. Face it head on. My gut twisted. Both of us. Team, remember? His grin, lopsided, chased shadows. Spring break dawned balmy. Lake Huron lapping gentle as we piled into his beat-up Ford Escape. Duffels stuffed with hoodies and hope. The drive east. 6 hours of indie rock and what-ifs. Cornfields blurring into Ohio's flat expanse. His hometown? Millersburg. Unfolded quaint. White steepled churches. Amish buggies clipping along Route 39. The air sweet with manure and possibility. The Hargrove house squatted on a cul-de-sac. Ranch style. American flag limp on the porch. Dad's F-150 gleaming in the drive. Mrs. Hargrove, Judy, with her perm and warm pie scent, hugged us like prodigals. Alex's track star. Ethan's told us so much. Lies kind ones. Mr. Hargrove. Tom, barrel-chested, calluses from the mill, clasped my hand firm. Heard you crushed Detroit. Boys got a ringer in you. Dinner was roast chicken, tension simmering under small talk. Wolverine's prospects, my plans post-grad, vague coaching dreams. Alex's foot nudged mine under the oak table. Morse code. Steady. After Judy shooed us to the basement rec room. Pool table scarred from youth. Ancient TV flickering jeopardy. We racked cues, but the shot felt loaded. Spit it out, son. Tom grunted from the recliner upstairs, voice carrying. What's eating you? Alex chalked his tip, knuckles white. Dad, there's something. About me. Silence stretched, broken by the fridge's hum. Footsteps thudded. Tom descending, beer in hand. This about the girl? That Lena? Worse. Alex set the cue down, facing him. It's Ethan. Tom's brow furrowed. What, he got you slacking? No. Love him. Like, love him. The words dropped, grenade pinned. The room iced. Tom's face cycled, confusion, dawning horror. What the hell's that mean? It means I'm gay, Dad. Have been. Ethan's. My boyfriend. Judy gasped from the stairs, hand to mouth. Tom set his beer down deliberate, veins bulging. Bullshit. You're confused, college phase like that vegan kick. It's not. Alex's voice cracked, but held. It's me. Tom's eyes flicked to me. Accusation sharp. You put him up to this? Some Seattle liberal crap. No, sir. I stood, legs lead. It's us. Real as your flag up there. He deflated, not exploded. Slumping onto the Naugahyde couch, head in hands. Christ. Alex. What about grandkids? The line. Judy knelt beside him, tears streaking. Tom. He's our boy. Still. Murmurs stretched into hours. Arguments ebbing to please. Bible verses clashing with love's logic. By midnight, exhaustion won. Tom retreating to bed with a gruff, think on it. Judy hugging us fierce. He'll come round. He loves you, both. We crashed on twin air mattresses, the basement cool and close. Alex trembled in my arms, sobs muffled. Sorry. Wrecked it. You faced it. I kissed his temple, salt and skin. That's miles more than hiding. Dawn brought tentative peace. Judy's pancakes stacked high. Tom at the table, eyes red-rimmed. Won't lie, hard to swallow. But you're my son. Always. No embrace, but a nod, crack in the wall. The drive back was cathartic, windows down, wind whipping confessions clean. Proud of you, I said over the hum. Him too. Someday. Alex's hand in mine, steady on the wheel. Back in Ann Arbor, spring uncoiled. Lilacs perfuming the air, first outdoor meet at Ferry Field. The relay was electric. Baton crisp, crowds roaring as we anchored tandem, crossing first in a blur of tape and triumph. Coach hooped, slapping backs. Unbreakable! But betrayal's echo lingered, not from family, but fracture within. Mid-meet, my phone buzzed. Dad, video call. I ducked to the bleachers, heart hammering. His face filled the screen, lined but soft. Saw the win. Mom and I. We've been talking. About you. Us. Yeah. Breath held. We're sorry. For the silence. You're our son, gay runner, all of it. Love you, kid. Tears blurred, relief crashing. Means everything. Across the field, Alex caught my eye, thumbs up from the blocks. Team. Yet drama peaked that night. Team party at the grotto, subterranean bar pulsing with bass and beer pong. Lena cornered us by the jukebox, solo cup sloshing. Congrats on the win. And the coming out. Alex tensed. Lena, save the pity party. Her eyes, glassy, fixed on me. You think this is fairy tale? He'll fold when scouts sniff queer. Or when daddy cuts the cord. It's not your call. I stepped forward, voice steel. We're solid. She laughed, hollow. Solid till it's not. Watch your back, power bottom. The slur landed like spit. Old wound reopened. Alex surged. Enough! But she was gone, melting into the throng. The party soured. We bailed early, walking State Street under street lamps' glow. You okay? He asked, hand squeezing. Been better. I halted by the Michigan Theater's marquee, fonts aglow. She's wrong, right? This holds. He cupped my face, thumbs brushing cheeks. Holds. Through drills, miles all. We kissed there. Deep, defiant. Passers-by blurring into irrelevance. An arbor's pulse thrummed around us. Accepting. A climax brewed unseen. Next day's practice. Coach's office, door ajar. I lingered, eavesdropping, habit born of caution. His voice gruff. Hargrove's distractions. That Caldwell kid. Rumors. Can't have it tanking the team. Alex's reply, muffled. It's not. Keep it zipped. Or you're out. Betrayal, fresh and institutional. I slipped away, gut churning. That evening, confronting him in the dorm. Heard you. Coach threatening? Alex paled. Ethan, it's strategy. Buy time. Time for what? Hiding again. Hurt flared. Hot. I thought we were done with that. We are for us. But the team. The team's got anchors. Plural. I paced, fury coiling. Or is Lena right? Folds under pressure. He grabbed my arm, eyes fierce. Never. But if it costs you nationals. It costs us both. The fight escalated, words as weapons. My accusations of cowardice, his pleas for patience. Door slammed. I crashed at Marco's off-campus crash pad. Couch lumpy as regret. Midnight text. Can't sleep without you. Please. I returned at dawn, finding him on the futon. Wrecked. I'm in, he whispered as I knelt. Full. Tell coach. Damn the scouts. Relief, tangled with fear. We faced it together, email to Ramirez. We're a package. Partners on and off track. Your call. His reply swift. My office. Noon. The meeting was storm. Coach's desk a battlefield of clipboards and coffee rings. This out now? With media sniffing. It's us, Alex said, hand in mine under the table. Or nothing. Coach leaned back, mustache quivering. Then fine, but discreet. And win. Or it's over. Exhale, collective. Victory, hard won. Spring deepened. Meat stacking. Ohio State duel, where we smoked them. Penn relays, Phillies track mecca. Our anchor leg a blur of speed and sync. Off track, family mended slow. Dad's care package, Seattle socks. A rainbow pin slipped in sly. Tom's card post meet. Saw the highlights. Strong finish. But tension simmered. Lena's final strike. Anonymous tip to the student paper. Wolverine's dynamic duo. More than teammates? Blurb ran, speculation rife. Whispers in the union, stares at the grocery. Alex hardened, but I saw the toll. Nights where he'd bolt upright, sweating dreams of disownment. One eve, post-tempo on the indoor track, laps echoing lonely, he pulled me into the tunnel, shadows cool. Scared, terrified, honesty, raw, but worth it. You, his kiss answered, fierce, affirming. Every mile. Summer crept in soft. An arbor's finale, a haze of finals and farewells. Dorms emptying like lungs after a sigh. We'd clinched Big Ten relay gold. Anchors unbreakable. the podium's flashbulbs etching us in silver. Coach's gruff nod post-ceremony. Handled like pros. Proud. Media buzzed brief. Caldwell-Hargrove. The bromance that broke records, but faded fast. Sports churn relentless. For us, it was exhale. Sublet secured in a Carytown walk-up. Jobs lined, me coaching youth track at Fuller Park. Him lifeguarding at Veterans Memorial. Future sketched loose. Grad school whispers, maybe Portland or back to Seattle. Together. But humanism's heart beats in the quiet victories. The scars that teach. Dad visited Memorial Day. Flight from Seattle-Tacoma. Rental bike touring the Arb. Awkward at first. Him in khakis amid hippies tossing frisbees. Me pointing out Alex's favorite overlook. Strong kid. Dad said over lunch at the lunchroom, vegan bowls steaming. Treats you right. More than. I showed the texts, daily check-ins, memes of exhausted runners. Dad's smile tentative. Good. Deserve that. Tom came around slower. Phone calls stretching from grunts to questions about form. A care package of Buckeyes and a quiet, love ya, son. Judy mediated. Her emails epistles of recipes and pride. Families, fractured then fused. Threads rewoven. Lena? She transferred to MSU come fall, soccer scouts calling, or so rumor went. A final note slipped under our door pre-grad. Hate you less now. Be happy. Forgiveness, grudging but human. The surprise drill that redefined us came unannounced, as they do. Mid-July, heat wave baking the Midwest. 90s pushing pavement to griddles. We'd kept training. Half-marathon rematch in Toledo, but casual joy over grind. One sweltering Tuesday, Alex texted. River run? 6 a.m. Bring grit. I arrived at the Huron's edge, towel slung, Gatorade sweating in my pack. He waited, shades perched, tank clinging to torso in pre-humid haze. Coach called, he said, no preamble. Pop-up session, old team ritual. Mental toughness drill. Just us. Intrigued. Wary. What's the play? Follow. He led upstream, trail narrowing to single track. Ferns brushing calves. 2 miles in, the drill revealed. A rope swing over a swollen creek, water churning from upstream rains. Swing or swim, he grinned. Your call. Heart skipped. Relic of childhood summers, but here, with him, I backed up, grip chalky. After you. He launched, arc perfect, splash minimal. Surfacing, whoop echoing. Your turn. Momentum built but doubt snagged. The drop, the current's pull. I swung, too tentative, rope slipping midair. Down I plunged, fully, current yanking like regret. Flail, gasp. Then his arms, hauling me to shallows, coughs racking. Got you, he murmured, holding tight as I retched water. Always. On the bank, soaked and shaking, truth spilled. That fall. It's everything. Fears, family, future, failing us. He brushed wet hair from my eyes, expression fierce. Then we fall together, climb out, run on. The kiss that followed, river damp, sun warmed, was seal. Romantic, raw, redemptive. No climax of catastrophe, but quiet crescendo. The support I'd craved, mirrored back. Fall semester dawned. Us in the new apartment. Exposed brick, bay window framing maple turns. Training evolved. Dawn jogs still, but laced with laughter. Pit stops for cider at Granger's. Challenges lingered. Internship rejections for me, grad apps for him. Dad's health scare, a minor ticker tweak, but reminder of fragility. Yet we navigated, humanistic in the mess. Therapy sessions at CAPS, where we unpacked closets emptied. Volunteer shifts at the local Pride Center, hands dirty with flyers and hope. One November Eve, post-Thanksgiving 10K. Medals clinking as we shuffled home. Pie from Judy's in tow. Alex paused on the porch. Marry me? Someday. When the miles feel right. Tears pricked, joy sharp. Someday. All our days. No tragedy, but not saccharine life's drama in the dailies. Arguments over laundry, reconciliations in sheets. His first OSU visit, Dad's handshake to me, Welcome, son. Wounds heal crooked but hold. Years unspool. Nationals claimed. Rings exchanged in a Huron Riverside ceremony. Small, fierce, family full. We coach now, tandem at a Seattle rec center. Kids tumbling through drills, learning grit mirrors loves. Alex's book, Memoir of Miles and Coming Out, hits shelves, bestseller quiet. Mine, articles on sports psych, footnotes to our story. The hook that pulled me in, that first crack on the trail his back turned. But the true tale, the drill that showed his hand extended always. One-sided? Never. Supports the real race, endless earned hours. In the end, it's human. Flawed, fierce, forward. We run on.